Pleasure to be here, man.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to have you.
It's something that I always tell people, you gotta love this to do it though. That's one thing I realized.
Everything you're doing, everything you're aspiring to have, how did that feel?
I had to pick myself up every time I fell, but you gotta start somewhere. So all right, we start here, now let's go to this country. And now the next goal is go to this country. Yeah, it's actually touching me even watching it, because I don't really take time to go back. I'm a really reserved guy behind the cameras, yeah. And it's a pleasure, you know, the honor is mine, man. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm ready, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's life like right now? What's going on with Yusuf? What's going on?
I feel like right now I'm entering a more settled and arrival place of my life, because I just turned 30, man. I can't believe it. So while I just turned 30, I'm also on the brink of reaching 10-year in business. So with those two coupling, it's just kind of giving me a little bit more of a, you know, easier mindset of, as far as like, man, you know, I'm young, but I'm not that young. So it's like a weird place to be in. So it's more so like I'm getting out of I just got out of my 20s. So I had the chance to try a lot of different things, and I was blessed to be able to figure out what works for me. So I think I'm in a space of just like confirmation now, just like, all right, this is what you're doing. You know, now just do the finishing touches, you know, just do whatever you set out to do. But now just know that, you know, time is here, but it's also fleeting, because, you know, 30 is like a mid spot, man. It's a little different for me right now.
How'd you start SGDI? How'd you become who you became to be today?
Well, I started SGDI when I was 20 years old. Quick backstory, I am, you know, African descent, originally from Senegal, West Africa. And although I was born here, I was there a few times back and forth. But when I started, somebody gotta do it. It was just, it's so funny me saying it. It was a byproduct of me coming back from Africa, because I had got, you know, in a little mishap in high school, so they sent me back to Africa. And at that moment, that was more so for like a lesson. And when I went there, I gained a greater sense of appreciation and understanding of where I'm from. So when I came back, I tried my hands in a few different business ventures. It didn't really work out, but then I started to hashtag somebody gotta do it, and that's when things picked up for me, when people started to recognize me from just hashtagging, and also use it on their own doing. Like somebody may be going to school and not feel like doing homework. You know, like Yusuf always say, somebody gotta do it. Somebody don't feel like working this double shift at work, to be like my man Yusuf say, somebody gotta do it. So at that moment, me and a bunch of my friends, we just, as people with entrepreneur spirits, we just try to capitalize off the moment. So we literally just made 24 shirts, 12 white ones, 12 black ones. And a lot of we did not have a plan that would be what it is today. We just wanted to capitalize. And from that moment, you know, it just shows a lot about taking that first step and putting your trust in God, because almost 10 years later, we landed to where we at right now, doing things we could have never imagined, but we just took a shot. And that's why I'm just like, man, sometimes I'll be like, I don't know, like, you know, for me personally, just from that story I just said, sometimes you choose your calling, sometimes your calling chooses you, and I feel like I just got chosen to be in this position, and I'm grateful, because not everybody gets to live it out or see this play out the way I did, and I'm definitely grateful, man.
To do this for 10 years,
right?
What were some of the hurdles you faced, maybe, or some of the challenges that you got through that you were able to persevere through?
Damn, that's a good question. I would probably say navigating me growing as a man, because I was still 20. You know, that's still, you know, 19 was your year prior to that. I was a teenager, so I was coming into my own, and I also try to navigate, you know, working with friends and family, and what that entails to just grow as a person and grow a business simultaneously. I think a lot of struggles came because I didn't really have I don't know if I would say like a male example growing up in that sense, so I didn't know where to take from. So my thing was trial and error, and I had to pick myself up every time I fell. So how do I manage money? What does it look like when I want to give up? What does it look like when business is slow? These are all questions I couldn't really figure out, but I guess I'm just fortunate to be surrounded by a space where a lot of people are doing entrepreneurship, so I can probably take from social media or people around me in my environment. But a lot of things coupled, like I just mentioned, was like challenging in the beginning, more so the first couple of years, because like I said, those are the times where you could just easily just give up because you don't know what's next, because this has never been done in your family before. Or so everything you're doing, like you're curating it yourself. So it's easy for people to come behind me now and follow my blueprint. But for me, it was just a lack of thereof from where to follow. So I know, sorry, I was all over the place, but it was just a bunch of different components. Yeah.
What were some of your inspirations when you realized this coming into fruition?
I would say, because me, I'm one of those people, I'm very simple. I take inspiration from everything. I just respect people that work hard and can create just the art of doing. So when I see somebody putting together an event of some sort, or even people that's in my field right now, when I see another person, like I remember growing up, I did see Milano, I did see Lavello Elizabeth, I did see Diafora. Those were the three people I really saw. Then I started to see people come along like Paradox and Stay Humble, Stay Hungry, just to name a few. So when I see people that look like me and you see them reaching like the next level, there's nothing more inspirational than that, because these are people that come from the same city as you, most likely had the same trials and tribulations. So when I see like my contemporaries like really doing it big, it makes me proud, because I think that's a representation of Philly too, because you look good when we're like collectively doing good as a city. So, and then also it just makes you realize like, if they can do it, so can I. And like I said, that was just to name a few. There's a lot of designers and and like I said, even other entrepreneurships. There's not even, it could be videographers, photographers, anybody. I just love people that's just doing it, man. Like the art of just getting up and trying your hand in something, being consistent, not giving up. I got so much like a profound respect for people like that, man.
I want to ask you about this trip right here, and I want you to bring back the memories, bring back how just sort of the realization of seeing everything you're doing, everything you're aspiring to have. How did that feel?
Yeah, it's actually touching me even watching it, because I don't really take time to go back. This particular one was actually in Gambia, but that's like next door to Senegal, so it's hand in hand. This was my third one. The first time we went, it was just a simple bug that, my sister-in-law, shout out to Fanta, we was talking, and a lot of work was being done here. At that time, we had a mentoring program here. We go to schools. We've worked with numerous homeless shelters. So I think she just kind of was like, yo, what do you think about doing something when you get out there? And I'm like, let's see what's the need. Let me get down there first and let's see. And then going down there, talking to my father, who's there at the time, still there, by the way. He just, I had a different idea. I think what he brought to me was like, I love your passion, I love your heart, but if I were you, what people need, especially in the rural areas, is they need food. Because I'm thinking big, like, what if I build like a well? What if I build like a school? But he's like, I love that, but some of these people, even if you want to give them clothes, that don't solve their hunger. Like, they want to just eat. And I'm like, damn, like he made it seem so simple. So I called back here, talked to my sister-in-law again, Fanta, and a few other people, and my team, of course. I'm like, yo, what if we just do like a big giveaway here in the village? And then it's like, all right, listen, just let us know, even though we're not there physically, let us know what we got to do here, the preliminary, all the back end work, and whatever we can do to make your job easy. So from there, we just started to do our due diligence by researching, getting because that's the thing people don't realize, like these things is very, very thought out. Like we look for like the villages that's in need the most, then we look for like a head count. I'm talking about each household, like down to how many siblings they have, male, woman, age range, everything. And once we get all those like together, now we start to break down like what's like the most necessary things they would need, maybe rice, oil, this, that. Then we get to the clothes part. So it's just a very, very detailed thing. Then we kind of put that out there. Now that's why it's easy for us when we're doing like a GoFundMe. We're very detailed because we know we have every information. We're not just saying it to say it. We know what everything costs and everything that is going to entail for us to get this done. And once we get all that, put together, we just set out. We reach out to the people in the village, like the leaders over there. We tell them our plan. We're coming down to host an event. We just ask that they bring everybody in the village to a central place, because I feel like that's easier for us than to go door to door, like 300 people. That may be a little harder. But what I could do from my experiences here, we could, bring tables, set it up in a format where is a nice formality going on. People come, we arrange buses for some of them, like to transport them back to their homes, but it's just easier at a central spot. So that's where you see a lot of my videos. It's a big central spot. Everybody come out. It usually takes about 7 hours, I'm not gonna lie. And it also takes us maybe 2 to 3 hours to get to the villages because, you know, some of the road condition is a little different. So we would rent out like a bus for me and the volunteers. Like, it's very detailed. I know I'm going on, like, it's like in depth, but it's something that I always tell people, you gotta love this to do it though. That's one thing I realized, because, you know, I could easily just raise the money and send the money back there, and while I'm here just kicking back. But we also are hands-on because we want people to know that we're just like you, we're no better. I can come here and get my hands dirty and work and serve you guys, and then I'll go back. But we just want to make sure that they know that they're thought about, even though I'm here in America doing what I gotta do, I'm still one of you guys, and this is me showing that I don't forget where I come from, essentially.
How do you use that experience as a launch pad to then go to other places, other countries, and all over the world?
I think it's just like with anything you do, you can probably attest to it, just being a creator right now, you know, your appetite grows. It's constantly growing. So when you do something, that just shows you what you're capable of, and now your mind starts to think bigger. I think that's my biggest thing. Even one of my guys, shout out to Wolf, he was telling me this all the time, think bigger. So I think that's just really what it is. It's like, we don't want to get ourselves complacent. All right, this is good now. Now let's help more people. Let's help all, but you got to start somewhere. So all right, we start here. Now let's go to this country. And now the next goal is go to this country now. Now, if you look back, fast forward a few years from now, we might say like, oh damn, we done went to like 90% of Africa, but that didn't happen overnight. We didn't just jump the ship. We started one place, excelled there, then we started to build upon that. So I think that's just been the constant evolving door for us, just in business in general. It's like, what can we do to improve, to get better, and how can we think bigger and also, you know, be a service of more people, you know what I'm saying?
Dope. What other avenues do you want to expand to that you haven't just yet?
That's a great question. I think I want to maybe sponsorships with more schools, because right now my relationship with schools is they bring me on board to speak. Like, I've been blessed to speak to, I can't even count how many schools and programs, and I even just went to a juvenile center recently. But I want to do more like, all right, if you have a sports team, can we sponsor the basketball team or football team? Because I want more direct correlation with us, like sponsoring our clothing with schools. And then, of course, you know, with me, I said this in an interview one time, and I think it's good to put it out there. I do see myself opening a school one day. Like, how that looks like and what that looks like, it's still all over the place, but that's some of the things that I want to, you know, do something that's like tangible, that's gonna be able to be in the play where every time you see it, that's just a reflection of us, you know, because like a lot of things we do right now, I could go to the village, provide food for 1,000 people, but then they eat the food and that's like, we gotta do it again. But I wanna do something where like that's always gonna be there. It could be a basketball court, like outside, literally, just something. So my mind is always thinking in that department. So we'll see what the future holds.
So I want to talk about your trip to Africa when you were younger, like you said. How did that like help you grow as a person? How did that put life into perspective?
When I was younger, they said I went back first when I was like 6, I believe, to like 9 or 10 years old. And that helped me because that's like your childhood, essentially. And what you are taught or around as a child, you know, that carries you a lot and that stays with you in most instances. So for me, it just showed me just what it's like to be hospitable, to treat people the right way, just lead with kindness, because you forgot, you know, like, that's just within us. Like, being an African, you come to Africa right now, you might get overwhelmed with like the outpouring of love, of how people treat you. Like, the little do they have, sometimes they would just want you to have it. And sometimes they have nothing, but they still show and exude happiness. So I think that's some of the things that growing up, even people used to like, you're always smiling, or you're always vibrant, or you don't get mad. And I'm like, at first I used to be confused, but I'm like, I understood it. Like, you know, hindsight is 20/20. Looking back now, I'm like, no, this is what I was around back home. And when I constantly go back, I'm reminded of that. So I think that's some of the biggest lessons, and the takeaway I had is just how to treat people, man. Just being kind, a simple act of kindness. And that's a lost art sometimes. So that was one of the biggest takeaways for me.
And talk to me about the person you are away from SGDI. Just you. Who are you behind all of this that we see?
I'm much more reserved than people would know. I'm not sure if they get that because I can't really put my mind in other people's minds. I don't know what my perception is to people, but I do know they see me talk a lot in the camera. They see me lead with conversations, and my personality is more outwardly shown in the camera. But behind the scenes, I wouldn't say I'm antisocial. I'm more like observant. Like I'm somebody, if I go places, I observe the room, I read energy. I'm friendly, so I can have a conversation with anybody. I can, take it however people take it. But 9 times out of 10, I'm just more so always relaxed in the room. I'm not the loudest in the room. I'm more so a homebody. I'm not in the clubbing scene or any of that. I'm always around my friends and family, intimate settings, kickbacks, the masjid a lot. That's where we pray as Muslims. But I'm just there sometimes just to be there. Like my friends, we go there. I'm not really, like I said, I'm really, really reserved. That's the best way to put it. I'm not really, it sounds like I don't do much for fun, but I do. I go to the gym, but yeah, that's the best way to put it. I'm a really reserved guy behind the cameras, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You have this camera. Tell people what you have going on, what's coming next, and where they can find you.
Well, right now, what we got coming up is our annual Philly and New York pop-up shop. The flyer is actually about to be released next week, but y'all get to hear it right now. So January 11th, we're going to be in New York City. All the information is going to be on my page. And January 17th, we're going to be in Philadelphia. You guys are going to see our new exclusive winter collection. I mean, it's been cold outside, so we got something to keep y'all warm. And furthermore, we got our mental health safe space returning, top of 2025, so be on the lookout for that. We also got something in the works for our 10-year anniversary. Yes, our 10-year anniversary of SGDI. It's going to be in 2025 as well. So stay tuned, and all things considered from SGDI, you can just be on my page and check us out. We've been fortunate to do a lot of events this year. So if you need a recap of that, go check us out so you get an idea of what's to come. So, yeah.
Awesome. Hey, thanks. This was hella dope.
Appreciate
This was
cool
as well.
Man. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.